To our first game of PiLiPiLi versus KeeN, as we do have to the top left-hand side our blue Protoss player from Storm Gaming. It is PiLiPiLi. Bottom right-hand side, our red Terran player is KeeN. I'm keen to get into this game because, well, could be a pretty fun one. Some Protoss versus Terran, and Pili playing against one of the again, a Korean Terran player here who really does play in a lot of the online events. It's actually fun. We got to see KeeN, unfortunately, losing out to Jon Snow just previously, but well, we'll see how this goes, and yeah, let's see if you can find some fun stuff in this. What's up, Fear Dragon in the chat? How you doing? Wardy, have I told you lately that you're beautiful? No, you haven't. What's up, Taco stuff for the Cheer one as well? How you doing today? What was that good one a year ago that got denied? Kapopa? Yeah, we need to get, we should actually try, and if you guys can still come up with an idea of what Kapopa should look like, we could totally have a Kapopa remote, but I don't know if the meme is just gone by now. Don't know if the meme is just gone at this point. Anyways, we do see an SCV just moving out onto the map, and currently a Nexus from PiLiPiLi on the way down into the natural expansion. There's a Reaper coming up from KeeN and getting going. But yeah, ooh, emotes. We already have 3 new emotes coming up as soon as we get, as soon as I get paid from, in like a couple of weeks, I get paid for some stuff. I'm going to be contacting my artist to get 3 new emotes made, but obviously if we unlock a 4th new emote, we'll get 4 new emotes made. Wouldn't that be magical? More chance for you guys to just spam stuff in the chat. It's going to be fab. As this SCV comes into the main base, and just having a little bit of a look around to see what is indeed going on here early. Twilight Council comes down, proxied from PiLiPiLi in the bottom left-hand side, so he's looking as though he wants to be a little cheeky in this game. As he probably looks towards something like, I mean, what do you do with a proxy Twilight? Well, hide a Dark Shrine is definitely one thing. Obviously, KeeN kind of sees a complete lack of information so far with going into this main base. And you should also notice the lack of a second pylon. You know, how can PiLiPiLi only be on 1 pylon in this game? Well, he can't be, unless he's supply blocked, which clearly isn't if he's making probes, right? So, there should be some, you know, there is definitely indicators here to suggest for KeeN that PiLiPiLi has proxied something somewhere. We'll just see how safe he wants to be with all of these units that he's getting set up with now. He's actually sending his Hellion out. You can see that the SCV knows that something is up. I guess immediately he wonders if it's going to be potentially like a Stargate setup or so. As we actually have a quick pause coming in. KeeN pausing up here, but hopefully only for a moment or two, and we can get right back into this. Do 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 do. Players are ready. 3, 2, 1, and go. And we are going to see this Hellion coming across the map to do some more scouting. But a Dark Shrine does get placed bottom left. Again, this SCV is not really scouting for a Dark Shrine or so, but it was scouting for a Stargate. But it is going to end up over here. And KeeN gets the early scout. He'll see exactly what this is. And now he just knows what to build it up in Engineering Bay. So KeeN will see that there if he actually notices, and he does, and Engineering Bay drops down in response. He's even going to start moving a few Marines out over in this direction. I mean, I guess unpower the Twilight Council to make sure that he can get this, you know, stop resonating glaives or something coming up behind it. Wouldn't be a bad idea. The Hellion on its way down there as well, and the Medevac also coming out. I mean, also if you get rid of this pylon, you also stop the, you would also stop the DTs from warping in down here. But there might be another pylon somewhere close. As we are going to see this Medevac loading up, and a Widowmine and 6 Marines immediately in the charge. Meanwhile, a turret at the front is already a big part of being able to defend here for Widowmine. Should be plenty to stop the initial DT or so from coming on in. So you see another couple of Marines are just on the way up at the moment, so it's going to be seeing the Widowmine coming in over here, and we are going to be seeing him starting to target down this pylon again. If the warping is over here with DTs, he could scan and pick it up. And he's going to be able to empower the claves, and that's huge because right now PiLiPiLi with 5 extra gateways on the way up. He's just going 8 gates, but 8 gates with no kind of Twilight Council upgrade is obviously a pretty huge deal. Because right now he's actually starting to lose the Dark Shrine before he's even made a DT. He starts warping 2 of them now. Are they all the way back at home? For some reason it's not taking me over there. He does walk them in at home, but just for one Archon. Is that all he's going to get? He can't really afford any more just yet, so I guess it will be. Well, PiLiPiLi, the kind of the Archon 8 gate against a bunker or Widowmine, I just don't really see how. Siege Tank will start up as well right now, but how do you just break on through? I guess maybe the Prism lifts the Archon over or up, and he warps into the main base, but that's going to be... I mean, he should already be warping in now. It's not like he should... it's not like he's going to be ready to do that in the next immediate kind of like 10 seconds or something. KeeN's going to go across the map too, which will force more units. Looks as though PiLiPiLi is just not going to warp in until he gets to the main. I mean, this could cause some issues, though. KeeN has the Raven with an Interference Matrix on. I guess the Interference Matrix could be cool, because he could kind of shut down the... I guess maybe not. I guess he could shut down the Warp Prism, maybe? A few Marines going down already. Remember that a lot of KeeN's army is actually in a medevac going across the map at the moment. SCVs are going to pull away. Siege Tank will reposition into this main location, and we are going to see the Interference Matrix. So now the Archon can't drop out of the Warp Prism. It's going to be seen at the same time. Probes are going to start taking some damage. Momentarily, the shield battery is going to be out of energy. As both players taking heavy losses at the moment. A Widowmine not going off just yet. SCV is being pulled on in to help out as well. A Hellion and Marines continue to do some bits and pieces. This first Siege Tank can probably just be repaired up, honestly. Still taking some shots. There's another Siege Tank that isn't sieging. I'm very surprised KeeN hasn't repaired that tank. Right now, I guess he is still struggling in terms of just number of units. He's kind of going to go into the main base. He's going to kill more stuff. Warping in the main base once again. And that might just be enough for PiLiPiLi to close this out, though. Liberator on the way up right now. Is this pylon going to start getting targeted down? This is... I just don't think there's enough right now. I mean, PiLiPiLi's lost pretty much every single worker. He actually transferred a few back down to the low ground now. Widowmine's still going huge. Maybe he could force... maybe KeeN could force some kind of a base trade. I mean, I say a base trade, I mean like maybe he can force like some sort of draw. I just don't think he's actually gonna have enough. Some Sorgers warp in, probes survive, and PiLiPiLi is gonna be able to make this work, even though he had to cancel glaives and all sorts here. He's gonna be able to make this work. I just really believe you repair the siege tank that was over here, and that's a big part of KeeN staying alive in all of this. The GG's called. PiLiPiLi will take map. First warp in would have been huge. Because I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe Interference Matrix will cancel a warp in, right? Because it stops the Warp Prism from doing anything. So I believe it would cancel a warp in. That would be really important. Would have bought him a little bit of time to reposition his units as well. Because then KeeN would have been able to come into the main base. He wouldn't have been split up on, well, basically focusing on the natural of his defense, etc. So, anyways, the bottom right-hand side, our blue Terran player. Let's hear it if you're cheering on KeeN. He's going up against the red Protoss from Psystorm Gaming. PiLiPiLi. Game 2 of this series, and let's see where it's going to take us. As we get set up and ready to go. We've seen a refinery building on up here, and a simulator as well from PiLiPiLi. In the main base. Again, nothing too ridiculous as we just wait for the initial expansions. Just sort of killing some time here. Killing some time waiting to see what it's going to be. I mean, PiLi pretty much so far has gone to some very interesting form of all-in basically every game. So, probably expecting some more of that. Some more aggression basically. Let's continue to set on up. There's the expansion as well from KeeN coming down right now. So allowing himself to just get set up as well. Neither player going to one base this right away. No proxies. Not just yet. Obviously still some potential proxies for maybe like a proxied starport or something a little bit later on. I guess the factory will just come down the main because there isn't an SCV on the map. And interestingly, no scouting at all so far. No SCV scout. No probe scout or anything. So both players are very happy and comfortable with how this is already going. As you do see that Reaper coming up through the center from KeeN. Gonna get to the top side and see what it can do. Reaper KeeN does come up to the top and will be just poking around into that natural expansion. Nexus is about to finish up. The depth comes through and we will be seeing it poking away at the Reaper as well. Twilight Council coming on down from PiLiPiLi. Just himself again getting established here into, well, Fast Twilight obviously opens up a lot of possibilities, a lot of potential as to what he might want to go for. Starport is indeed starting right now, and again the Twilight Council is about to finish. It's just a blink. Okay, well that's probably the most standard build that PiLi's gone for all game so far. As you can see, the robotics facility is dropping on down. Raven or Viking, which is better versus DT Archon and a War Prism? KeeN chose the Raven. Well, I think the Raven is a good idea because if there was DTs, then he doesn't have to spend scans on them. The thing is as well though, like a Viking, obviously, for what ended up happening, a Viking probably would have been much better. But the Raven was a good idea based on being able to clean up the DTs. It was more so that he just wasn't prepared at all in the main base, and he also chose to kind of go for the drop across, and I mean, the drop across is fine, but then you really need to minimize damage, and so when he got dropped in the main, he maybe should have tried and pull everything to the natural or so, to wait for 2 siege tanks or something. Everything was just a little bit too slow for KeeN, unfortunately, as we see the stim pack starting up for him in this game. This is actually going to be a couple of Widow Mines, but 2 racks early means his stim pack's pretty swift, and that'll be Tech Lab on the factory, so this is probably going to turn into a bit of a tank push with stim, though. It's obviously a little bit different and a little bit unique. Team Medivacs continue to come to the top side, and we'll be getting ready to drop in towards this natural in a couple of moments. Going to be finishing up as well momentarily and getting ready to go. I think another thing about the Raven as well, though, even if he has turrets already up, someone's saying that he's already got turrets, the Raven allows him to go across the map and not have to scan watchtowers, not have to scan defensively, or scan to be aggressive basically. He can just keep on, scanning as he wishes. He can just keep on pushing as he wishes. He doesn't always have to save those scans throughout the game. And I think then, that's why the Raven is not a bad choice. It's actually a very popular choice against DT openings if they're scouted early enough. So, again, he was already building the Raven before he was knew he was going to kill the DT Shrine too. So there's a lot, there's a lot in play that kind of you have to really think about the circumstances in this stage of the game. Again, from our perspective, it's really easy to see. Well, obviously the Raven did nothing. The Viking would have been better, but for his overall game plan, I think the Raven did fit in a lot more. Obviously, he just didn't get to play his overall game plan. He died before then. Well, PiLi is getting aggressive. He's warped in a ton of Stalkers. And he already has the 3 gates up here, and we saw these 3 extra gates down to the south. That is going to be, well, a 4th gate as well. It's going to be 7 gates in total. So, 7 gates, and PiLiPiLi is just going to try and break in with Blink Stalkers here. There's only 1 siege tank at the moment. The next tank coming up, but Stim's going to be ready. I mean, Stim will just chew through these Stalkers so much faster. Marauder would go, would actually work wonders right now. I think this PiLi has to be a little bit careful with the Widow Mine available. He's actually blinking back right now. He's not being able to set the Widow Mine off just yet. Now he goes off and he blinks away, but now there's 2 tanks. And obviously not blinking into this right away means that PiLi has this, KeeN has these moments to build up another siege tank. As now PiLi gets ready to try and blink on up in towards the main base. It's going to be a big blink up into the main in the moment or two, as we're just going to be seeing the tank taking some damage. SCVs are going to start pulling into this. There's still another tank on the low ground. 2 more Medivacs arriving here. Another Marauder comes in. Does PiLiPiLi just have a little bit too much? Oh, PiLiPiLi blinks away for now, but this wasn't a bad start. 10 workers killed. 1 of the 2 tanks picked off. Things are getting better for KeeN though. Obviously over time his work count is alright because he has 3 CC. There's the blink forwards. This time he gets rid of a siege tank right away. This was an aggressive blink in, right? So now he's going to start taking a lot of damage, which is where the War Prism comes in. Micro and those Stalkers quite nicely. They blink forwards again, and there just doesn't seem to really be enough bio that's going to be able to stay safe enough. And PiLiPiLi's looking as though he's going to 2-0 KeeN here. GG, PiLiPiLi picks up the 2-0.